Minasan konnichiwa, and this is where I'm going to react to the videos that was sent from the viewers and of course from my community. And I've never heard of this term before. I guess this is a term that has been used, for these specific people that are doing this, which is passport bros. Because I don't know about this word, so I'm gonna learn something today. So
What do women think of men who leave their home countries to seek love in foreign lands? Well, apparently there's quite a war of words going on between a certain segment of Western women and men who pursue international relationships. It seems there's a lot of animosity against these guys, with name-calling and outrageous accusations.
you're telling me whoever sent this video, we're going to kind of like have a talk and discussion about certain people that are throwing names.
The conflict centers around a movement called the Passport Bros, who are typically black guys who have gotten fed up with the situation in the West and decided to look elsewhere for a happy life.
Okay, so first off, as I am understanding this, these are the people or the Western men who goes to third world countries, I believe. So this is what I'm going into. Okay, I guess, like lately our live streams have been talking about relationship and stuff. So, yeah, let's see what are we trying to figure out, okay?
Now, even though the Passport Bros are mostly African Americans, I think you'll recognize the same tactics being used to shame any guy who dares to dream of finding a better mate overseas. So, what are these women saying about the men?
Passport bros go to third world countries and purchase little girls and turn her into a breeding mare. They're little girls, you're sick.
Ooh. So, as I'm understanding it right now, so these are the, like in a better statement, passport bros. But I think this has been going on, and I think it's not just African American. I mean, so if you're talking about passport bros, is this just for this specific people? Because as I've said, I'm new to this word, guys, and I'm probably gonna understand this in this video, but we'll see what we're getting into. But, like describing that scenario, it's almost like, like even back in the day, you would see this, you would hear stories about, Western men or like men from first world country visiting, third world countries. And I think it's just because of like how, like women right now, we are kind of free, like we can do whatever we want. And I think sometimes there's always going to be some people who wants it kind of traditional. And if there is one thing to blame about this, is the stereotype, because not because we're Asian. I'm Asian, I'm full Asian, even though I'm half, both are Asia. So the thing is, it's like if you go to either this country of where I am from, which is Japan and Philippines, yes, we do hold tradition values, but at the same time, it's almost like, like not every woman you find Asian will have that kind of traditional values, because we're also influenced with the Western that we can actually be ourselves and pursue whatever career we have. So, but saying going to the third world country and marrying someone young, I think it would go to a deeper kind of length. But we'll see. I want to know more information, okay?
So, where is all this anger against the Passport Bros coming from? It sounds like the guys just want to find greener pastures, and their women don't seem to like him very much anyway. So, what's the problem? Well, let's listen to how one woman describes the passport bro phenomenon.
Black women, are you ready? Apparently, there's a group of, you guessed it, black men who have grown weary of the quote control that black women have over them. So they've decided to seek dominance elsewhere, and that's in the form of traveling to third world countries to seek a bride. What's at play here is that these dusty, mediocre at best so called men have finally come to the realization that Black women are no longer willing to settle for the bare minimum and are choosing to stay single and maintain their peace. If divesting to desperate and disenfranchised women is so great, why do you all have to make an announcement, a grand announcement? Oh, I know why. Because you actually think that this will hurt Black women.
Okay. So let me get this straight. So I guess this is kind of like a war between Black women and the so-called passport bros, which is only for African American that goes to seek dominance. So that's what I'm trying to understand in this first half of what this video is kind of like about and what she's talking about here. You know what? Sometimes this is always going to be hard to react on this certain stuff because I feel like sometimes it's overblown. Like everything is exaggerated right now. And like if you are looking, like, it's not just for men. Like women can go to like different third world countries because they want a traditional man, and I've seen that. Like if you're watching 90 Day Fiancé, a lot of like not black, I mean white old woman goes to third world country to find their love, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. And I don't know if it's just the like kind of like bitterness in the tone of the voice, but I think like when it comes to this, it's almost like like there's power, like woman power all over. But at the same time, if you are if you are a Black woman who wants to find your career or pursue your career, and we're not just talking about Black women, but also like me, Asian woman, like every woman on earth, if you decided that you want a life to have a career and to be an independent woman who is, again, as I'm going to say this, is overblown, I feel like, some men doesn't like it, but at the same time, I've heard a lot of men doesn't really give shit about that. Like, it's just a matter of like, what do you want in your life? And, like, if you want love at the same time, it's not about like, why would you have to kind of like focus on a man who has a traditional values and go to places where they want to find love? Then it's almost like, like, don't you think it's a good riddance that's not the man that you want to have? I don't know, but we'll still watch about this. Let's see if I'm gonna have a different approach in this one.
I am not mad about Black men getting their passports and paying to play overseas. I just truly want to help these men to see logic and reason. A man that's looking to marry a foreign woman went to an event wearing a top hat. Brother, are you serious? You look ridiculous. And you're clearly undesirable, but I'm sure that you've blamed Black women for your lack of what it takes to attract them. But you want to go overseas where women are unaware culturally of your nature and pay them to pretend while you give them nothing but money and a wet behind. They aren't marrying these women. The men in this movement are largely undesirables or men that want to use a woman freely without her giving any pushback.
That's a pretty funny one. I thought it would go like the first thing you hear is like, I'm not mad. And then I thought it's gonna be a different approach, and then bam. But the thing is, I think, like I've never had any experience of Black culture as they said it is, but in my live stream I had multiple, in that background that I've talked to, and I think, depending on what kind of background you have, or like what kind of like factors you want to take into having that kind of love or finding love or the one for you. Thing is, I think there's a lot more conversation to had before I kind of like react everything on it. And it's not me trying to kind of like, like kind of filter of what I'm gonna say. But at the same time, I just really feel that, as a Japanese lady, and I've seen a lot of Western, I would call it like a weeboo, like really into Japanese culture. And in my honest opinion, yes, they could be the undesirable ones in their home country. And like in Japan, they would come here. It almost like, I'm just saying this because it feels like this is the kind of like thought process of how this kind of passport pros and kind of like black women not liking this kind of like thing happening around that particularly group. But at the same time, I really feel like, like it's not just that, it's just more of like, like some men or even women can do that too, I'm just saying. But sometimes there are certain qualification and factors that you want to kind of like looking for a person to marry or like have that kind of relationship with. But at the same time, it's like, where's the anger? Well, I would say like kind of like generalizing everything, every situation of what this word means is, but where's the kind of hate? I mean, why would you really hate that? Or like, why would you dislike someone going in like different lengths to find the one that they think is would be good in what they want for a partner? I mean, where's the hate about that? Like if us women would have that certain group of people that we are preferring to build a family with, if we can find love to other country, or we can find love in another culture that we kind of love, where's the hate about it? It's like, I just don't get it. It's like everything is like we always want to give our opinions, which I'm actually giving now because I'm reacting to this one. But at the same time, it's like we always forget that different people have different perspective, and sometimes they might not know it, but at the same time, if they kind of know that there's an option for them to do other things towards their goal, where's the hate of like not letting them? And I feel like there's more, like, because it's kind of like I've heard a lot of culture in their group that there's a certain, like animosity and, like hate towards it. But I've always thought about this, like, why it is so bad. Like, if you have parents that are Japanese, they would always tell you to marry a Japanese person, not a foreigner. Or like it's almost like this conversation needs more. But the thing is, how about the other side? Women who are in the third world country, like there's more to this story. So we'll see. But if you like how I did this, or if you have any recommendations for me, and if you want me to dig deeper into these passport bros and you want to talk about it, please let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss any updated live streams and uploads I have in this channel. And again, if you're watching this first time, this channel is all about life journey. So if you want to have or be part of this, share this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Ciao. Mwah, 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 mwah.